What's up, YouTube? Before I start, I do want to go over a couple stuff that I changed in my channel. I added a couple playlists that were already there, but I kind of made the changes in what the title and the descriptions are. So I did want to make a unwind playlist. I wanted to go ahead and create a playlist that people can jump into and just forget about the worries of the world throughout that playlist. So what kind of is going to consist of that is hikes and nature walks with my dogs and songs in the background, like kind of ambient, chill, slow songs that will really resonate with the viewer, especially if you have headphones. I'm only going to cover that playlist since this video is directed to that one in particular, and I'll talk about the rest in another video. We're going to go ahead and get into the video now. The title of the video has to do with the connection that your dogs make with each other while they're hiking. Now, I made this video because if you don't know, both of my dogs are males and they're not neutered, right? Now, Dogo Argentinos have been known to be aggressive towards same-sex dogs. In this case, they're both males. So Ghost, although he's only 10 months in the video, he already starts showing signs of matureness, and he starts showing signs of him trying to be, the alpha per se, the dog that's in charge, the one that leads. And that's something that I've been working with him and Fen. Luckily, I mean, Fen's pretty big himself, so they don't fight often. And I don't want to say fight like if they fight, like fight. It's just a lot of Ghost trying to assert himself. And the difference between Ghost and Fen is that Ghost is extremely vocal. He makes a lot of grunting noises, so it sounds like if something worse than what's actually happening. And this, to somebody who's not used to handling dogs and somebody that is unaware of this, that can be extremely scary, because you hear this really deep voice and this dog's just going crazy, and you go outside and they're both just gnawing. Not gnawing at each other like if they're bones, but they're both like, if you have male dogs and they exhibit these types of things, you're gonna know. They're vocal, they make the other dog aware that he's not trying to play, that he's trying to assert himself in some way, and that's basically what happens. But I have noticed that when we go on hikes together or walks, hikes or walks, there's some sort of unity that comes out of it. So they both tire themselves out, which is one of the best benefit out of it is that they're physically tired. So because they're physically tired, they're more likely to just settle down after they're done, to relax, to go to sleep. And they, not only that, but they also walk next to each other. So the entire video, Ghost and Fen are next to each other. You're kind of forcing them to work together as a team, because if you notice, there's times where Fen stops and Ghost keeps going, and then he kind of like yanks himself, or vice versa, Ghost stops and Fen keeps going. And I'm sure they don't understand that they have to work together, but you still put them in the situation where they're next to each other, they're exercising together, and they're being physically active with one another. They're being physically active with one another. And that's kind of what my main goal for hiking with both of them and for walking them is for them to just be together in an outside environment from my backyard or from my house, and have them stick close together, so that way they can follow each other in the future if I do happen to get access to an off-leash hike. It'd be something that can help them, and it is something that helped them, because returning from these walks and these hikes makes them more calm. Like it's kind of like if they needed it, you get me? Like maybe they were upset about something. I know I don't like to put human emotions into dogs because they're not humans, and I think that's one of the issues that a lot of people have, is that they try to force these human-like emotions into these animals. And animals don't really understand and don't reason the way we do. But through experience and through what I've seen with these two dogs is that it does help, walking them together and hiking with them, because returning they're a lot calmer. Right after some of those if they were to disagree with each other, you know, if Ghost tries to assert himself on Fan and he doesn't allow it, and usually when that happens, Fan just kind of like brushes it off and just walks away, and Ghost does the same thing. And this is usually the outcome of them playing. You know, they start play fighting, and then Ghost is kind of like, all right, I'm done. And Fan, if anybody has seen wolf dogs play, they play a very different than regular dogs. They're very mouthy, and since they're so tall, they just paw at the other dog's face, like if they're slapping them with their paw. And Ghost eventually gets annoyed, and he makes it known, like he gets mad. So when that happens, Fan kind of just like, he just brushes it off and doesn't want to really not be near him, but he just doesn't go and play with him. You know, after these walks and after these hikes, when they're together, they start licking each other's face. They start sleeping together. It's like if it was the reset button, all right? It was like, all right, we had these differences, and now we exercised, and now we come back to the house, and Fan and Ghost are cuddling together once again. Fan and Ghost are playing with each other fairly. You know, it really is something that helps the dogs. Never walk them, you never run with them, you never take them on hikes, you don't mentally train them, you don't make them sit, stay, roll over, backflip, front flip, you know, all that stuff. Then you're breeding this behavior even more, because you're not putting a stop to it, and you're not allowing them to find comfort in something else and to get their minds out of that household. You get me? So you're just nurturing that behavior. If you don't take your dogs out for walks, if you don't take your dogs out for hikes, if you don't take your dogs out for runs, you're basically feeding them this negative energy towards each other. You do leave them together in the house, or in the backyard, or wherever you have them, and you don't work them, you're gonna have a very disgruntled dog, especially for these dogs that are bred to be active and to be outdoors. And some dogs are better than this than others. You know, Ghost is very lazy. I don't have to work him every day. If I wanted to, I could leave him in the house and this dude will sleep the entire day. But when I do take him out, that's when the energy comes out. That's where all this excess energy shows itself, and he just wants to run, and he wants to run, and he wants to be active, and that is what we're not seeing sometimes when you leave him inside your house. So don't be fooled and think just because your dog likes to sleep all day doesn't mean that your dog might not want to exercise. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I wanted to make it rather short. I'm trying to keep the videos below 10 minutes. With that being said, I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure to leave a comment down below to kind of help the YouTube algorithm. If you do have any recommendations as to what you would want me to cover, go ahead and put that below too, and I'll be sure to hit that in the comments and then eventually make a video on it. Thanks guys for watching. See you next time.